Okay, now we're on day 8 with Genesis chapter 22, along the lines of us going through 650 Bible prayers. So after years of waiting, Abraham, now age 100, and Sarah, now age 90, finally had the son God promised. So in this story, God put Abraham's faith to the test. So here in this chapter, we're going to see the joys of fearing God and what it means to trust God and love God completely. Overall, when God tests us, it's a way to confirm our faith and commitment to Him. So you really have to trust God reverently and with a sober commitment to really hold Him in awe. It might sound easy, but it really depends on what you're being asked to do, and it's not easy. Anyway, here we go. We'll start with the sacrifice of Isaac in this chapter 22. So let us begin. After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, "Abraham, here I am," he answered. "Take your son," he said, "your only son Isaac, whom you love. Go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about." So Abraham got up early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took with him 2 of his young men and his son Isaac. He split wood for a burnt offering and set out to go to the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there to worship. Then we'll come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac. In his hand he took the fire and the knife, and the 2 of them walked on together. Then Isaac spoke to his father Abraham and said, "My father." And he replied, "Here I am, my son." Isaac said, "The fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham answered, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." Then the 2 of them walked on together. When they arrived at the place that God had told him about, Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood. He bound his son Isaac and placed him on the altar on top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham." He replied, "Here I am." Then he said, "Do not lay a hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your only son from me." Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering in place of his son. And Abraham named this place, "The Lord will provide," which is Yahweh Yireh. So today it said, "It will be provided on the Lord's mountain." Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, this is the Lord's declaration. Because you have done this thing and have not withheld your only son, I will indeed bless you and make your offspring as numerous as the stars of the sky and the sand of the seashore. Your offspring will possess the city gates of their enemies, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by your offspring, because you have obeyed my command." Abraham went down to his young men, and they got up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham settled in Beersheba. Now we move on to verse 20. We're going into talk about Rebekah's family. So now after these things, Abraham was told, "Milcah also has borne sons to your brother Nahor. Uz has his firstborn, his brother Buz, Kimuel the father of Aram, Shesed, Hozo, Pildash, Jidlap, and Bethel fathered Rebekah. Melech bore these eight to Nahor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, whose name was Rebekah, also bore Tibah, Gaham, and Makkah. In this chapter 22, it's a testament to God wanting Abraham's complete allegiance to remain in him. He wanted his complete obedience, which is exactly what God wants of us today. This test actually looks ahead to the coming sacrifice of God's own son, which is Jesus Christ, who would consecrate Abraham's spiritual descendants to God and fulfill the covenant promises that we operate under today. As you see, if you go back to verse 3, since Abraham got up early in the morning, it's a testament to Abraham obeying God immediately and without any question, which is something we're all supposed to do now. Now, if you notice, if you go to verse 4, it literally took 3 days for this journey for Abraham to get to Beersheba, to the region of Moriah. So you can imagine it's probably an agonizing 3 days for him to travel, contemplating, what God had asked him to do of killing his only son. But nonetheless, he obeyed God without any hindrance because Abraham knew that he could trust God to fulfill his promise. As you can imagine, anyone having to potentially sacrifice their own child will be tormenting. But the key is to always trust God and trust him completely.